Hi, my name is Jasper, and I'm a rising senior at the Horace Mann School, and I'm currently 17 years old. And for my main project, I'm making a hole-in-the-wall game with a leap motion gesture controller. Essentially, what this game is there are walls that spawn with specific shaped holes in them, and you have blocks laid in front of you, and you have to lay the blocks in that specific shape that is in the wall, so they can go through the wall as it comes towards the blocks. And for this game, I'm using a leap motion gesture controller, which essentially recognizes your hand movements and mimics them in the game, so you can actually control the objects in the game with your hands without any controllers, without any buttons whatsoever. Everything is virtual. So essentially the way this controller works is that first it uses optical cameras to basically recognize, first of all, that there is a hand present in the scene, and then it has IR sensors to determine the distance of different parts of your hand. So depending on how close your hand is, it can determine what part of your hand is. So if the sensor is facing towards the bottom of my hand and I put my second finger down, it will notice that this part of my hand is closer to the camera, and it will know which part of it is, and so therefore it can say on the controller, your second finger is facing down. So this is a visualization of what the sensor really sees. So you can see here, if I place my hands, let me try that. You can see now it basically puts down a wireframe of what my hands look like according to the sensor. And so if I move my fingers around, you can see that wireframe mimics my fingers. I can also tilt my hands, I can bend my wrist. And so essentially what will happen is in the game will recognize different gestures. So for example, pinching or grabbing or flipping my hand, right? It will recognize those gestures and then coordinate those gestures with a certain action. So for my first milestone, I basically just made a starter demo. This isn't the actual game yet, but it's to make sure that I can actually control things with my hands. This isn't the actual game setting. So I have 4 cubes, and each of these cubes have been programmed with Leap Motion's own interaction behavior script. So basically what Leap Motion does is they provide you with a basically starter script that allows you to easily program the controller, so you don't have to go through all the steps they have to go through when developing the sensor. So it's really nice. So I optimized that, and I created some hands, and basically have these cubes here, and I'll be able to demonstrate that with my hands, if I can move this up a little bit, I can actually grab the cube and I can try to lift it up, move it to the left, and for example, stack it on top. So in my game, what will happen is that I'll have a shape in the wall, and I have to stack cubes and maybe pyramids or spheres together to make that shape. So something like this. And so these cubes are rigid bodies, which means that they can be interacted with, and they have realistic physics attached to them, which means that they can be affected by gravity. So as you can see, I can actually hit it away and the cubes fall down, just like in real life. So yeah. So basically, as you can see, my hands are in here, fully functional. And right now, the gesture that is mapped to the hands is the pinch/grab gesture, which, as you saw before, picks up the physical objects in the game. So yeah, that's my first milestone.